What's going on, beautiful people? Thank you for tuning in and watching my videos. I appreciate your appreciation of my rants, and here to rant. And if I had to take a guess, knowing me, this is gonna be a while. This is gonna be quite a rant about my own personal vision for the world, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and get very dreamy. I have a dream. I'm gonna get very dreamy and very dramatic and very hippie in my vision, because I think, Bruce Lee said that, a goal is not meant to be achieved, but it is meant to be strived for. And that success, this is from someone else, success is the progressive, oh, I love this one. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And if we can, generation after generation, progressively set a really high goal, a really high ideal, and progressively pursue it, then to me, we've had a successful incarnation as a generation, and we will come back. I believe in reincarnation. We will come back and experience our actions. Karma is real. The way karma works, you come back, you reap what you sow. Except for, we're all one. We all reap what we sow as a society, as one organism, because humanity is one organism, and we are as strong as our weakest link. And god damn it, there are people that are starving, that are thirsty, that are drinking really bad polluted water, and they're getting all kinds of diseases. And this is where my vision starts with. My vision starts with feeding, sheltering, and clothing every single human being on this planet. Now, to me, that is the number one step. That step comes before even coming back to the natural world and taking care of the trees and taking care of other beings. Because it is clearly that human beings are in charge of this planet at the moment, only at the moment. I mean, if we keep fucking it up, we'll go extinct at some point and Earth will correct itself. The trees will be dancing again, be like, fuck these humans, pieces of shit. They had their moment of glory and now they're gone. So trees and plants and all of that, nature will be fine, okay, in the long run. But clearly at this current moment, humans are in charge of this planet. We're on top of the food chain, and we are directing this planet into one way or another, right? Because we sort of are able to manipulate nature and become the dominant species, right? So, unfortunately for a lot of animals right now, unfortunately for them, I feel bad for them. Their fate is in our hands, and it really sucks for them. I apologize on the behalf of my species to all the animals for putting you in this really terrible situation. I wouldn't want to be you right now at the mercy of human beings. But it is what it is. And so to me, it's very important to get every human right now to be drinking water, clean water, to be eating food, not hungry, not starving, to be clothed and sheltered. That is, for me, should be the number one, because we should all look at humanity as one organism. So that should be the priority of the biggest fucking CEOs in Western rich countries or Western countries, to the person who is starving right now. That should be the priority for all human beings. Is every cell in our body good? Is it functioning well? Look, I had a wrist surgery, right? 2 wrist surgeries here. You guys can see this scar. I made a separate video for it. I just don't know if I'm gonna post it before or after this video. But when I had this wrist surgery, every other part of my body was fine, but I was practically immobilized. I didn't go to the gym, and I would have to get my friend to come and help me do groceries because I was casted, right? I was practically immobilized. I'm as good as my weakest link. My weakest link right now is immobilized in a cast. I'm as good as that. Well, that's how we are as humans. It's the exact same thing. It's no different. You're as good as your weakest link. And so we should all be working, as a society towards, all right, look, if let's say I'm living in a Western country that has a lot of resources and is like over consuming, the priority should be, all right guys, we gotta delegate some of our resources and sort of help out the countries right now that are lagging behind us. But of course, we think they're different skin color, different language, different this, so we think, oh no, they're different than us, why should we help them? It's like, no, we should help them. So as long as we take care of ourselves first, right? You start to take care of yourself first, and here's the problem. The problem is, even in those countries like the United States of America and Canada and many Western countries, there's poor people out there, okay? There are some fucking poor people out there, man. I live in a city called Hamilton. We got a lot of poor fucking people in this city, okay? I'm telling you right now, like, I'm talking poor paycheck to paycheck, living in shitty houses, and I work in a coffee shop, so I get to see a lot of them, right? And there's a lot of poor people here. Even here in countries that have resources, that are rich, in the United States, there's some fucking ghettos that, like, fuck, you know? So, then you start to take care of those people. Then your priority as a country, wherever you may be, whether it's United States, whether it's Canada, whether it's France, whatever, let's feed, shelter, and clothe everybody in this country first. Let's make sure everybody's well off. Let's make sure everybody is okay, you know? And whatever we need to do that, we make sure that happens. We make sure every human being has an equal opportunity to survive and thrive. Because, you know, it's different. Some people have really shitty circumstances, man. And they need a little nudge. They need a little nudge, right? Of course, everybody's got to be responsible for their own individual well-being. But some people, they just need a little bit of nudge. You steer them in the right direction, and then we're good. So the wealth distribution is really skewed off in pretty much everywhere in the world, right? Except for Scandinavia. Scandinavian countries are a great model for that. They really are. We should learn from them. The wage gap, the wealth distribution is very much close in those countries, and pretty much, as far as I know, could be wrong, but as far as I know, the corruption rate is like practically 0% there, and everyone is sheltered, fed, and clothed. So there's a good model for every individual country to follow. From there on, your country is good, everybody's good. Then you look and you say, okay, let's work on something to help other people on this planet and do the same thing. So it goes beyond survival, because you got to get everybody to have their own basic survival needs. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. There's far more to being a human being, and far more to the existence and the purpose of this existence. The next thing we want to do is we want to empower individuals. We want individuals to become self-sufficient and self-reliant on their own resources, and God knows every human being out there has infinite resources within them to survive, to thrive, to be happy, to be joyful, to have a sense of purpose, a sense of mission, a sense of community. So we need to empower all individuals on this planet and say, hey, you're fucking powerful, and you're strong, and you're capable of growing your own food, you're capable of extracting your own whatever, your water, and you're able to do all of that, and you're able to do the thing you love to do, right? So get people to do the thing they really love to do, whether it's creating art, whether it's creating music, whether it's creating whatever. You just empower people. You say, hey, you know what? You can make a killing, a living, just doing the thing you love. And you tell people you can be self-reliant. You have the creativity within you is is your own manifestation of God, of the divine, and that manifestation, if you allow it to manifest to its full expression, you will be taken care of financially. You'll be taken care of. You'll be compensated with love, with support, with community, because you're letting God, you're letting the divine express itself, come to its full expression, full manifestation. So you empower people. You tell them, hey, by the way, you're a powerful being. You're an eternal stream of consciousness that is having this temporary experience of being a human being, and you're powerful, and your job here is to let the Tao, let the divine manifest itself through you. How do you get people to come to this realization? Now look, meditation, yoga, and contemplation and relaxing from this work and productivity thing is sort of the answer. However, and I'm going to use Terence McKenna's argument, and which I agree with, is there enough time for all of this, or do we have to get everybody to fucking get high on mushrooms? We might have to get everybody to do, in a responsible manner, start conventions where people can go and get high on mushrooms. Because look, this vision that I'm sharing with you right now, 80% of it comes from what the mushroom has told me. 80% of it comes from the revelations that I continuously and continue to receive from the mushroom. And LSD is just ergot, it's a fungus, it's psychoactive, so similar, right? So let's call them psychedelics. 80% of what I'm saying here in this video, I am speaking through the lens of the mushroom. I am speaking through the lens of psychedelics here. I didn't give a fuck about it. I didn't give a fuck about the planet. I didn't give a fuck. I was, before, you know, going on with psychedelics, I was just concerned for my own survival, my own well-being. But now I realize my own survival and well-being depends on the well-being of everything else that is around me, from humans to trees to animals. That we're all connected, we're all the same, we're all one consciousness experiencing itself subjectively. So we might have to do that. We might have to legalize this shit finally. Okay, in California they're trying to pass it for legalization in 2018. Psilocybin mushrooms, whether it goes through or not, that's a good step forward, because that means it will happen soon. And start conventions, start like centers where people can go and responsibly with trained shamans have psychedelic experiences that will make them feel this, whether they like it or not, will make them realize this, will shatter your ego, will just make you realize, hold on, who the fuck do you think you are? You're everything and everyone. You're not just this one separate entity, and your well-being depends on the well-being of everything, of the planet altogether, Gaia, the mass consciousness, and your well-being depends on the well-being of everyone around you. How do we get people to realize that? I'm agreeing with Terence McKenna. It's getting late. The hour is getting late. It's getting a little bit late here. And maybe we do have to get people to do psychedelics. You know, we might have to organize centers and legalize it, organize centers and say, hey, doesn't matter where you are in life right now. You're going to go with this well-trained shaman, and you're going to have like 5 psychedelic trips. We'll do one once a month. And you will come to have a different perspective on life. And you will come back with a new understanding, with a new sense of oneness and unity and love, and seeing yourself as part of a greater picture. So, God damn it, if my vision needs LSD and psychedelics, I will push for that, okay? Because I'm telling you guys, 80% of what I'm saying here, I know it sounds rosy and nice and everything, but I'm speaking through the lens of the psychedelic here. So, we empower individuals. We get them to realize who they really are. We get them to see that, hey, this is life. This is the purpose of life. The purpose of life is for you to learn, to evolve your stream of consciousness, your soul, and that's what everybody's here for. But also your purpose is to play, to enjoy, to create, to share your manifestation of the Tao, of God, of the divine, with other individuated units of consciousness that are also, their mission is to evolve their stream of consciousness, to evolve their quality of life, and to also share their gift, share their manifestation of the Tao with other people. And so we live in this, my vision is sort of a society where everybody's just doing what they love. You know, you get like, you walk on the streets and you see these beautiful fucking people painting, and then right next to it, you'll see like somebody playing the guitar, and you'll see somebody else like playing football, and like you'll see somebody else doing gymnastics, and it's like all like in one neighborhood. And it's like, because no one has to worry about survival, right? Like, think about it like this: to feed, shelter, and clothe the entire world population, and sort of reduce our materialistic needs for better cars and huge houses, and we just get to, make sure everybody's clothed, everybody's sheltered in a reasonably sized houses, right, that revolve around nature. That's part of my mission we'll talk about. And you get people and you say, you know what, as a society, our priorities are no longer to create material things. Once everybody's well off, then go and share your gift with the world. And if you're compensated for it, and you want to have more material things, you do that. You go ahead and do that. But that is not our priority as a society, because right now our priority as a society, as a global society, is to create more things, is to progress materialistically, right? Increase the bottom line, increase productivity, and grow the economy, and more and more and more. Consume, consume, consume. But if the priority changes to, all right, we're no longer going to consume, right? We're no longer going to pass this agenda of consumerism. We're going to give everybody freedom. You know, you still want the fucking Lamborghini and the big mansion, you do that, go ahead. But that is no longer a priority, because here everybody's just trying to get ahead in the game, right? We say, okay, look, you're sheltered, you're fed, you're clothed, all right. Now we start propaganda campaigns of telling people, you go and do what you love. Right now the campaigns, the propaganda, the society, what society tells you is go get a job, go be productive. But if we start to have it like in our media, it's like, go and do your passion, go and do what you love. It's all about how you are within the world, how you share your gift. Then people will naturally just stop giving a fuck about consuming so much, and will start to share their ideas with the world. So I think part of what I'm talking about is kind of what happened in the 60s with the hippies and the LSD movement. Is I think the picture that I'm painting here probably kind of happened in the 60s, where you had people sharing art and doing what they want, and you go out in the streets and you have young people just being, right? Being. Dancing and singing and creating art and inventing things and doing all these beautiful things. Manifesting God through them, letting God manifest itself through them, the divine. So that's part of empowering the individual, right? Less consumerism, less materialism, more, what's the word I'm trying to look for here? More creativity. There we go, creativity. Now, to go on further, we've created city-states, cities, call them cities, that are separate from the natural world. I mean, this is nature. Like this, for example, that's nature. It's just we manipulated it and we took some raw material and we created this thing. We've got to connect back to the source that we built these city places from. Like, it's really hilarious for me, like how you can go into like nature, like a nature route, and you clearly see that, like in my area, I live in, by the way, a nature dominated area, and yet when you go into nature, you'll see clearly this is the highway, and you'll see a clear distinction between the natural world and the city world. It's like, it's really weird, man. It's like, it's really fucking weird when you think, like, when I tripped on psychedelics, the first realization was, this is fucking weird. Wow, this is weird. Like how we just created a clear, distinct separation between this is a human colony and this is the other world. And it's really fucking weird, man. It's a really trippy thing. Now here, look, my area is beautiful, right? My area is gorgeous, wonderful. I love it. And yet, even here, you can see, like, you go on the highway, there's a clear distinction. This is the natural world, and this is the city world, the human world. Well, again, we gotta realize that our well-being, our well-being depends on the well-being of other life organisms, right? Life forms. And the way we're destroying the trees right now, the way we're cutting down the trees in the Amazon and everywhere else, yeah, we're gonna be fucking starving for oxygen pretty soon. You know, we need their oxygen. We need them, right? This is the ecosystem. We need, all of us, life organisms, life forms. We need one another to survive and thrive. So, building a society based on the connection with nature, not the separation from nature. Now, we can't any longer, with the amount of people that we have and the way it is, we can no longer go back to being just out there in nature, right? We're domesticated animals, but we need to create zoos, just like in the San Diego Zoo. The San Diego Zoo basically mimics the natural world as much as possible for animals. So it's a nice zoo, and it gives the animals like a sort of an environment that is as close as their natural environment. versus like other zoos where they literally put the animals in cages, right? There's a difference. Right now we're in cages. We need to build society. That's a city. That's what a city is. A city is a cage. It's a cage for this human animal. Hence social anxiety, depression, all of that. Lots of, we're oppressed in these cities. We need to create cities, give people more space, give people more connection with nature, give them like a big giant backyards and really like, you know, just nature, mimic the natural world. Mimic the natural world. Instead of building these cities, take all the space you have in the country, in your country, wherever you are, and spread out and give people, put it in nature, right? Have like, everyone has like space, everyone's like living amongst trees, right? We need to have those kinds of zoos for this poor human animal that is so repressed because of living in these really, I hate cities. So that's, I mean, I like visiting them, you know, I like visiting New York, for example, but living there, fuck no. So, that being said, the other thing I wanted to talk about is a sense of community. Many people are feeling lonely, depressed, sad, anxious, don't belong, and seeking for validation, and it's simply because we don't have communities anymore. Like, again, we live in an egocentric world, and it's always about me, and separation. So we need to have more communities, I guess, more communal living. And I think there are some people already trying that out, like, you know, small groups of 10 people living off the land, growing their own food, and really just taking care of each other, having their money pooled together, and really just taking care of each other. And I think we need to have more of that, because this is how we sort of evolved as humans for most of our existence, in small bands and tribes. And the tribe saw itself as one. Whatever we hunted, everybody shared the food. Whatever resources we had, everybody shared the resources. And so in the same way, I think we need more of that. More communities, more communal living, more communal ways of being in the world, right? Again, that a lot of these experiments popped up in the 60s, and then for some reason they disappeared. Now I think people are doing it smarter. It's still on a very small scale, but my own even individual mission is at some point in my life to start a little community. Really, I don't know when that's gonna happen, when I have enough resources, probably when I'm really big on social media, on YouTube and stuff, and I have like a lot of financial resources and a lot of following, then maybe I can start like a little community of 10 people or so and see how that goes, experiment with it and see how it goes. So I will probably implement some of these things that I talked about in my own personal life as I grow. I mean, I'm a young guy, right, 26, and I'm very much on a mission to change the world. And I'll be experimenting with some of these things. Another thing is I just want to see more valuing creativity, where I talked about, and valuing pleasure more often. We're so guilty about pleasure. When I say pleasure, music, dance, art, sex, right? I mean, you know, think about it, like, people aren't having sex as much because you're always working all the time, right? And again, like, when you're having sex, man, like, sex isn't just like the 30 minutes of penetration. Like, it's spending time, and you want to be relaxed too. And most people are so stressed out anyway, right? That's why a lot of people are not in the mood. Of course, you gotta get up 5 days a week and go to work or go to school, right? And you're sleep deprived and you're sick and you're miserable. Yeah, right. Okay. So just a society like based on pleasure, right? But like, just more pleasure, guys. No, let's just, as long as we're eating and we're sheltered and everybody's taken care of, then like, what else is there but love? What else is there but companionship? What else is there but pleasure and dancing and singing and loving each other? That's what life is really all about. That's the point of life. It's not to just keep making money and collect material things. You know what I mean? So more value on creativity and love and pleasure, and less on productivity and mundane monotony and just robotic ways of being, right? So that's where I'll finish off this video. That's part of my vision. I mean, the vision is much greater than that, but it's part of my vision. It's whatever I collected in this rant, right? Whatever came to my mind, but I have more ideas and more things, right? Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video. God bless you all. I will keep making these videos. I am still beginning my mission, and I'm young and I got a big mouth, so I'll keep talking. I'll keep spreading the word, preaching, because the preacher's gotta preach. That's it. As always, guys, don't forget to subscribe or you're gonna sleep with the fishes.